Good evening. This is David Lynn, also known as the Prepper Principal, and this is Coffee Talk number 247. Hope everybody is having a wonderful day, and thank you for joining me. Hello, Bud Files. Welcome. Waiting for some people to come in. This evening, the main topic is going to be number 10 cans, freeze dried number 10 cans, what you should be buying. KP Heathen, welcome KP Heathen. Uncle Al, by Bullfrog 79, thank you. And my friend Hillbilly Josh. Santa Fox, welcome. The Santa Fox is not a creator, but I will share you out. This is a link to the Santa Fox. Idaho Garden Girl, welcome. Uh, I hope everybody had a wonderful day. Saturday is coming to an end. Tomorrow is Father's Day. Okay, Fox, thank you for coming in. Appreciate it. So, this evening, I had a suggestion from Bullfrog79 to talk about number 10 cans. I give credit where credit's due. And Uncle Al we were texting, and he said, if you could have 10 number 10 cans for the year, what would you get? And my response was, if I could only buy 10 number 10 cans, then they would all be powdered milk. They would all be freeze-dried milk. My reason being, milk is something that, you buy different things, to have for food, various perhaps canned goods and rations and all sorts of stuff, freeze dried and everything. And you get a pretty good selection of stuff together. What's one thing that you need every day? Well, you need water every day. You need a clean source of water. But as far as a beverage is concerned, a source of milk, a glass of milk. Now, for those people who are lactose intolerant, the alternative whey milk, the powdered milk, is whey milk. It's not, it's plant-based, but it's milk, with all the protein and all the nutrients and everything you need. So I told him, if I was only going to have 10 number 10 cans, then it would be powdered milk. And he said, gave me a thumbs up, But in other words, on that list of 10 different types or 10 number 10 cans to be buying, to me, the milk would be the number one. That would be my number one that I would buy. And I buy, and I buy it regularly. I buy milk. I'm bulking up on milk. Now, in addition to the regular milk, I'm also bulking up on what they call the moo milk, the chocolate milk. Mind you, it's still the whey milk, but it's chocolate flavored. And I'm buying that as well. And that's like a treat, Goulash. Well, yeah, I know, Uncle Al, types of number 10 cans. I know, and I said that. I said that. So I'm going to go through this list of number 10 cans, and I'm going to place these in an order that to me is the order of these cans. I'm not disputing the 10 different types of cans that Uncle Al had suggested, but I am going to give you my preference as far as the order in which I would be buying them. So number one is milk. So when I include milk, I'm talking the regular milk, and I'm also talking chocolate milk. I would have more of the regular milk, but I would also have some of the chocolate milk, especially if I've got a kid, or somebody who's got, like, they want something sweet with their, and I can remember growing up and drinking lots of chocolate milk when I was younger. So milk is number one. My number two would be the freeze-dried powdered eggs. That's my number two. Of 10 different that I would be purchasing. Powdered eggs. Freeze-dried powdered eggs. My number three on that list of 10 would be in 3 and 4 right there together for me. Number 3 would be cheese powder to whip up cheese. Cheese also is very good with protein. So number 3 would be cheese. Number 1 is milk. Number 2 is powdered eggs, and number 3 is cheese. Number 4 is powdered butter. My number 4 is butter. The powdered butter. Now, not on the list that Uncle Al recommended, but is significant to me, is peanut butter powder. Being able to mix up peanut butter. Again, it's a good source of protein. It's not on the 10, so I'd say it'd be like an 11, but it would be on my 10. I'm going with what Uncle Al had. Yes, mac and cheese. Mac and cheese. So in these others, because they're basically vegetables, these others that are on the list beyond the first 4 are vegetables. Debatable on peanut butter. Well, like I said, Uncle Al, it would be the number 11, I guess, on your list. It would be one that I'd add on past the 10. But I've got several number 10 cans of the peanut butter powder already laid in. Another one, before I get to the vegetables, would be oats. I've got some pails, and it's larger than a number 10 can. It's a pail of oats. You want oatmeal. I love, oatmeal. My wife doesn't really like it, but if society was falling apart, she'd eat what I gave her, or she'd starve. Oatmeal, the oats. And you can use it to make, you can grind it and you can use it to make for bread, But going with the others that Uncle Al had suggested, broccoli. Broccoli's got a lot of nutrients in it. Dehydrated onions. Peas. Sweet potatoes. Sweet corn. And something that I've never heard of before, I had to look that one up. He said TVP, and it's like textured vegetable protein. I guess that might be something like a alternative source in place of meat. Like I've got some number 10 cans of like burger vegetable burger mix. I've got a couple of number 10 cans of like it's like a burger mix, a vegetable burger mix to be able to make burgers. And they're starting to put out, alternate forms of, like, you can go get frozen hamburger patties, but it's not hamburger meat. It's a vegetable mix that's in the form of a patty. I understand, Uncle Al. They sell them in number 10 cans, but I buy the pails. And I'm paying about $35 for a pail, it's like a 10-pound pail of oats. Joseph Moore, welcome, Mr. Moore. And Little Lone Prepper. But, Uncle Al's a purist. He says, stick to the script. I talk about a lot of stuff. I mean, we're talking prepping and we're talking freeze dried. So I'm going beyond the number 10 cans to buy. I'm going beyond that. And I don't mean to confuse anybody or upset anybody, but I mean, I'm writing down stuff as I go along and then thinking about stuff that I buy and stuff that I have. So, like, as far as freeze dried is concerned, coffee. Freeze dried coffee. I've got a lot of freeze dried coffee. And you can buy a pail freeze dried coffee. 360 servings. And this is stuff, long-term stuff that'll last forever. You basically have a little scoop, and it comes in packages inside of a little pail. It's bigger than a number 10 can. And you get 360 servings, and it's going to cost you about $80. But that's about 1 cup a day for a year. And on the TVP, bacon and beef available. Chicken is out. You can buy number 10 cans of meat. You can buy, they're like little chunks that you rehydrate. It's fairly expensive. You get a 10 can of like a meat, or you get a number 10 can of chicken. Chicken is almost as expensive as the meat. And you're going to be paying, mom of 4 boys, hello Rachel, you're going to be paying about $70 for a number 10 can of meat, and almost the same thing for a number 10 can of chicken. So when I'm looking at bang for the buck, you're looking at bang for the buck. I can get a 2 month supply of milk where, like Ready Essentials, or, you know, I've got a lot of Agassiz farms. I get a number 10 can of the Agassiz farms, and I've got several of them. And you basically get a month's supply for about $20. Their number 10 cans do not have as many servings in it. Whereas I can get a number 10 can of Ready Essentials, and it'll cost me $30, and it'll be a 2 month supply. It'll have 60 some odd servings. So you're paying an extra $10, but you're getting a full extra month's worth of the milk. You know. Joshua Humphrey. So, as we're talking, 10 in the house, 8 likes. So, as we're talking about, freeze dried and number 10 cans, if I'm trying to build up a year's supply, and basically the way that I'm working on my year's supply, I determine how many servings a can has. That's Fox's channel again. I just linked it. Fox is not a creator, but Gina, welcome. My friend from the Philippines, one of my friends from the Philippines. If you are not connected to Gina, you need to be connected to Gina. Gina's got a couple of really good channels, and I encourage you to. Would you drop your link, Gina, for Ed's Dance, please? Drop your link for Ed's Dance and food. That's an excellent channel. I get some ideas from that channel. I enjoy that. I also enjoy watching Gina exercise. I mean, I sweat just watching her. So, she's a very nice lady, and she is very educated, and she is an educational leader at her school. She's very, and I give her props. She's trying to finish her doctorate, her PhD. So, more power to you, young lady. I spent a good amount of time on her live stream today when she was doing she did a couple of live streams. She did one for Ed's Dance, but I spent more time on her other live stream earlier, and we were talking about stuff and visiting places and where to go, and issues that we have, and everything. Yes, servings times the number of people. So when I'm looking at a number 10 can and it says it's got 60 some odd servings, that number 10 can is basically for one person. So I have to buy, if I'm basically prepping for 4 people, and right now I'm basically prepping for 4 people, then I got to have 4 number 10 cans in order for each person to have 1 cup for 2 months. So you got to think about that. So in other words, if I'm buying number 10 cans, which I'm buying quite a few, then it's going to cost me about $120 for 4 people to have a glass of milk every day for 2 months. It's under $20. You know. And I've been also experimenting with the taste, and I've been opening, like I'll buy a can, I'll open it, and I'll use some of it. Because normally when you buy a can, it's got packages in it. It'll have several packages in it. So you open up one package, and then you put the top back on your can, and it's still, it's still stored. But you can open up a package and you mix it up and make it along, drink it along. And I try it, and the taste and the flavor and everything. Well, a serving size is 8 ounces. A cup is 8 ounces. So normally, when they start talking about a serving of milk, a glass of milk is 8 ounces. So it has, you know, like if I'm looking at sachets or packets of tea, coffee, different types of beverage powders and such, normally that is something that you would put into a half liter, 16 ounces, which is like a pint. We used to call it a pint, and now they call it a half liter. I'm stuck on the imperial system, the old English imperial system. That's my everybody. I can do metric, but it's like a second language. I think in my native language. My native language is imperial, or what they call US. Now they call it US. And then my second language is metric. And when I went to school as a little boy, I learned metric at the convent. They were teaching the US and the metric back before they were teaching the metric. The Catholic Church, the convent I was attending, because you're dealing with the Irish, a lot of them are from overseas, from Europe and such, and they used the metric over there, so they were teaching that. Never really considered that. Makes sense, though. In retrospect, it makes it easier to calculate things. Serving size, yes. And like I buy, most of what I buy online is Amazon, but I do occasionally buy online Walmart. But I have a Walmart and I have a Sam's Club close to where I live. So like bulk items, I tend to buy over at Sam's. There are items I buy at Walmart on a regular basis. But I also order. I will order. In like when you're looking at, and I buy pods. Like I'll go and I'll buy 100 pods of Folgers at Sam's, and sometimes I'll buy a couple of boxes at a time. I use pods sometimes. My wife uses pods. Sometimes I use the packets, the sachets. And right now, if I do an 8 ounce, like say I'm using my Keurig for water, heated water. If I don't put a pod in it, then I just use it for water, make water. I'll put my packet of coffee. And normally it's like 8 ounces to a packet of coffee. If I'm looking for like 16 ounces of coffee, I'll put 2 packets in to make it, decent strength. So when I drink a cup of coffee, I normally drink a 16-ounce coffee. However, I go over to Speedy Stop near where I live. I'm part of the coffee club. My daughter got me in the coffee club. It costs me $10 a month for all the coffee I want to drink. So I can go. Sometimes I go. Well, I go pretty much every morning, but sometimes I'll go in the afternoon, or I'll go at lunch. And I'll say, I'm gonna have a cup of coffee. I'll normally do the 24-ounce ones. Like sometimes when I go in the morning. Julie Ann West. Welcome, young lady. Julianne is from across the pond over in the UK. She lives in Wales, which is one of my ancestral homelands. And truthfully, I would be lying if I told you I've been doing it, but I haven't visited her lately. But she does she's a creator, and she puts out some good content. She does put out some good content. My wife would love her channel. My wife really doesn't look too much at YouTube, but my wife would love her channel. This is the type of stuff that she puts out, because that's the type of stuff my wife's into. Thank you for coming in, young lady. Well, I understand, Uncle Al. I think it. The metric. I have the translation down. I just have to do. I just have to do the adjustment. Like a quart is 32 ounces. A liter is 34 ounces. So I think liter, and then I think 34 ounces. It's like a dual. It's sort of like code switching in between English and Spanish. Spanish is my second language. I'm not the best in the world at it, but I studied it. I took it in school, and I have quite a vocabulary in Spanish. My conversational Spanish, my pronunciation's horrible. I can't roll my R's. Certain things I can't do. I'm sort of screwed up because back in the day I studied Latin, and Spanish is a descendant language of Latin, one of the regional languages. It's sort of like, 1,000 years later it's going to change, that kind of thing. I've actually been told coffee is not a problem. I can drink as much coffee as I want. They say do not drink sodas. You do not want to drink. Okay. 4 things that doctors say. Do not smoke. No smoking, no vaping, bad for you. Bad for your health. Smoking, tobacco, bad. Alcohol, bad. Now I will say, because there's some stuff that you can use to justify it. Drinking a glass of red wine every day is got some benefits for your heart. Drink a glass of red wine. But as far as hard liquor and liquor is concerned, alcohol is not good for you. So don't drink, and here I'm going off script, don't drink alcohol, don't smoke, and then sodas. Soft drinks are real bad for you. The sugar can give you diabetes. You don't want. Sodas are not good for you. Now, I will say, I have relatives. Hello, Belinda. Thank you for coming in. I have relatives. Now, they passed, but I remember, because I'm 62 now, so I can remember like back in the days. They drink Cokes. They love Cokes, and they lived to be 90. So, Welcome, Belinda, and I am Betty. Hey, Betty. I know where you got that idea that I might have had a cold, Belinda. That short I did where I sort of seemed to be, you know, doing the sniffling. Yeah, I heard it. I played it. I heard it. I was like, well, darn. It's like, wow, a sniffle. Um, welcome, I am Betty. Betty's got a good channel. The lady puts out some good stuff. She's got a good head on her shoulders. Well, young lady, you got a few years on me. I'm 62, and you don't look your age. I will certainly tell you that. Well, I'm glad you got your rest in. I don't know. I think of hitting 80 as being old. In my family, people are pretty active till they hit about 80, and then they start really slowing down. Um, I can remember my uncle getting out there in his riding mower, and that thing had like a turbocharger. He'd drive that thing like it was a sports car. And he mowed like several yards in the neighborhood. He mowed his daughter lived down the street from him on the same block, so he'd mow her yard. He mowed his yard. He mowed like 3 yards, and something to do. I can remember he was in his 70s. He'd be up, close to 80 years old. He's out there on his riding mower, mowing yards and such. Um, may he rest in peace. So, getting back onto the script, because I know I've got Uncle Al upset with me probably because I'm off script. And I talk about whatever y'all want to talk about within reason, as long as it's not profane or anything inappropriate. I'll talk about anything with you. But going through that list again, um, the vegetable protein, or like meat having crumbles, hamburger crumbles, or um, turkey, pork, um, even chicken, you know. But you're going to pay for the meat. But those are all good. Those are all good. Um, broccoli, dehydrated onions, peas, sweet potatoes, sweet corn, potatoes. The Irish potatoes. Um, and then butter powder, powdered eggs, cheese powder. You pay. I tell you what, they were talking about $1 an egg. You get a number 10 can of freeze dried powdered eggs. You can get a Ready Wise, or you can get a there are different manufacturers, but you get a number 10 can that is the equivalent of 70 eggs, and you're basically paying about $1 an egg. That number 10 can will cost you right at $70. Yoda, my friend Dave, how's it going? And and Dave, tell me something because I know you did it yesterday. Um, there was a channel that came on that basically puts out gibberish. Whenever they comment, it's gibberish. It sort of gets to me a little bit. And you were on last night, and you basically put them in timeout. You basically, and they didn't come back. Well, they came back today, and they started the gibberish again. And I'm trying to think, what the hell are they, excuse my language, talking about? Um, what's your take on that channel? Is that somebody who's actually got some issues, you know, or are they just basically BSing? What are your thoughts on that one? Yeah, you should stay away from refined sugar. That's true. Yeah, Uncle Al, a troll. You think it's a troll? Okay. Well, if you want to do the honors and basically blacklist them, you've got full user rights. I gave full user rights to you and Uncle Al. Everybody else I give standard moderator, but you got the enhanced user rights. If you want to go ahead and put them out of my misery, go ahead and do that for me for Father's Day. Put them out of my misery, because I mean, you get some of these people, they just frustrate the crap out of me, and that's one of those channels. There's another channel that frustrates me that they constantly come in every day. They come in, they hello peoples, you never get a like. I have never got a like from that channel, and I have been over to their to their channel when they're doing stuff, and I always leave a like. I let them know what like number I am. I say nice things, you know. I give them some watch time, and I have never got. They've come in here and they've never left me a like, to my knowledge. That's frustrating. To me, it's rude. Here I am on a rant again. Sorry, Uncle Al. But yeah, um, you have to think about pantry space. Number 10 cans, you got to think about pantry space. Um, Thank God I got plenty of pantry space. Um, I couldn't find the block button today. I had one bothering me. I hid them from my channel. Good thing, good thing, good thing. I understand. I understand. Um, I will occasionally say things that are funny to me, and I'll start just giggling and laughing. But Dave and I have got a joke, because I told him that it just made me laugh my head off. But some of the people that I follow that follow me, um, I'll watch a video of theirs, and it may be a 7 or 8 or a 10-minute video, and I'll give them the full view of it, and then I'll hit that little button at the end that says, you know, basically how much time I watched, in addition to like number, and, you know, say something nice about them. I had run a live stream for this individual that was like an hour and a half long, a replay, and I had indicated full replay. So they came back this next day, and they watched one of my little, it's a video, but it was a short video, and the video was about a minute and a half long. And they put down as a comment, full view. And that was a minute and a half video. And I just started giggling and just laughing my head off about full view. Wow, thank you for the full view. And Dave and I have got this joke that sometimes he'll watch one of my shorts, or I'll watch one of his shorts, and he'll say full view, and it's like a short. It's like a little private joke of ours. But I mean, you know, the person didn't think about it, but like they full view is like, wow, you gave me a minute and a half. Thank you. Thank you. 98 degrees and 80% humidity. Good Lord, it is hot. Yeah, not vermin proof in bags. That is true. Yeah, and they drop their link and they leave. Yeah. I don't drop my link a lot of times. I don't. Sometimes what I will do, I will go into somebody's stream and I'll communicate with them. And then somebody will start communicating with me on the stream. And then I'll go over to their channel and I'll go and I'll watch 2 or 3 of their shorts, and I'll leave them comments on their shorts. And then if I think it's the type of stuff that I like, then I go back to a video, and then I'll put on the video like new friend or new subscriber. And I've done that several times in the last week, and I may or may not have picked up. They may not have come back and subscribed me, you know. But what I tend to do is, hello Margie. What I tend to do is somebody comes over to me and watches a couple of mine, then I'll try to go back over to them and watch a couple of theirs, you know. I don't drop my link very often. Sometimes they'll say drop your link and I'll drop my link, you know, but I don't do it very often. And I mean, and everybody in here right now has got standard moderator. So I'm looking at Betty right now. Betty's got 2.11K subscribers. She's got 781 videos. And I'm actually subscribed to her on both of my channels. I have my backup channel. My friend Walter Davis. Welcome, Walter. So you do have to take into consideration space. Like with your number 10 cans, you really got to take into consideration space. Now, if I'm looking at, let's just talk, you know, let's just talk the freeze-dried number 10 cans of milk. If I'm talking Ready Wise milk, one number 10 can, which cost me $30, it's going right now is about $30. That will give me a 2-month supply for one person to have an 8-ounce glass of milk every day. I got to have 6 of those cans to make a 1-year supply for one person. So 6 cans at $30 is $180. Now, if I'm trying to do that for 4 people, and I've got quite a bit of the milk, I've got more milk than anything else, but I'd have to have about 700 and, let's see, 6 times 30 is 180. I'd have to, that'd be $720. It will cost me $720 for 4 people to have 1 glass of milk a day for a year. Think about that one. Ed's Dance. If y'all are not connected to Ed's Dance, I encourage everybody to reach out and connect to Ed's Dance. Ed's Dance and Food. Gina puts out some good stuff. She puts out some good food videos. Her shorts, her regular ones when like she's got some event going on. She puts out some good, and she puts out some good exercise. If you want somebody to exercise with, she puts out some good exercise. The music is good. The moves are good. They're simple. They're easy to do. Uh, I encourage you to subscribe. Ed's Dance and Food, and that is Gina, or Jules of Gina, Gina Youngkin. Yeah, that it is true. She talks more about intellectual stuff. She's very, very intelligent, very up on things, and she'll ask questions. You know, this afternoon, somebody come in. They were on her videos. They're from Azerbaijan. Well, where is that? And she said, well, is that Russia? And I responded, well, it used to be the Soviet Union. When the Soviet Union was before the Soviet Union fell and dissolved, that was one of the states or the countries within the Soviet Union, Azerbaijan. It's bordering Russia now. It's a country borders Russia, but it's not part of Russia right now. If they ever reconstitute the Soviet Union, they'll probably pick it back up. Back to the movie later. I will play the replay. Thank you so much, Dave. God bless you. Mike Crusher Reviews. Hello, Mike. I have a bachelor's degree in history, and I took several courses in geography back in college too. Well, that's one of the courses you have to take today in high school. Is you take world geography. It's one of the social studies courses you take. Of course, a lot of the kids don't care about that. I write lots of notes. Lots of notes. I got to remember when I get into my closet to pull out some flameless ration heaters for Little Lone Prepper. She wants some flameless ration heaters, and I really don't use them. I've got a bunch of them. Hey, you're a good dad. Quality time with your kids. One thing you have to understand, and this is not getting into politics, but there are two big belief systems in the United States, or two big parties in the United States. You've got the more conservative, constitutional group, old school. That would be the Grand Old Party, or the Republicans. And then you've got the more, I don't know what to say, but that would be the Democrats. you know. And I'm pretty sure that official who said something about that we don't like the Philippines, or that we're not really big on the Philippines, that was probably a Democrat. They're in power right now, probably until the election. Now the European FRHs are good. That whatever, their FRHs are good. The US FRHs aren't worth a. But the European ones, they put out some good stuff. Theirs are good, for whatever reason. Now I will say this: a new FRH, when they're manufactured, the new ones, yeah, they work pretty good. If you were able to get a hold of, like the military, that they make these, they make a case A and they make a case B, and case A has menus 1 through 12, and case B has menus 13 through 24. And they've got an inspection. They inspect them after 3 years. So if you get them when they're fresh, yeah, the FRHs work just fine. But after a period of years in sitting, and sometimes in the heat, not in the best conditions, they get knocked around, thrown around, the FRHs don't work too good. So one thing you can do is you can put some salt in with it. When you go to put the water in, you put some salt in, and that tends to kickstart it, or more likely to help it. But no, the US FRHs, I don't care for them. I love the European FRHs. They're good. Yeah, Uncle Al would say stick to the script, stick on preparedness. I'm sorry. Um, and let me throw let me throw a bone to Japan. Okay. Um, Japan is not a country you want to have as an enemy. They gave the United States just about all we could handle. They did. And they fight. They're very honorable. They're very fierce. They've got a high sense of honor. They live a long time. They live a long time. They're very hygienic. They're very respectful. And right now, they're rearming because of the Chinese and the North Koreans who are really causing a lot of crap over there. So you've got South Korea, Japan, Taiwan, even the Philippines are trying to step up their arms. The United States is going back into Subic Bay. We're reopening our naval base, which used to be the biggest base in the Pacific, was Subic Bay, and we're going back into Subic Bay. They really, if they were smart, they got everybody around them pissed off. India, everybody around them is pissed off. So, when you're a bully, they're trying to take over the whole South China Sea. When you're a bully, at some point, there's always going to be a bigger bear, or sometimes it'll be a pack of them. You do not want to mess with. You do not want to mess with us. Yeah. No, you're not. But I mean, we basically would be there for you. Uh, the United States was in the Philippines for many years, and we've got a lot of connections with the Philippines. Used to use our money. The dollar used to, the Philippines used to use the dollar. Your second language, the two official languages are Tagalog and English. You know, those are the two official languages over in the Philippines. The Philippines would sort of like used to be sort of like the equivalent of Puerto Rico to us. The Virgin Islands, Guam. We're right there together, and I see us going back that way. And there are a lot of expats. There's a lot of people from the United States living over there. A lot of them are married to Filipinas, and if China really started, we would be there for them. Yes, it used to be. Yes, we did. And daggnabbit, we gave back Cuba. Walter, we gave back Cuba. We need to go back into Cuba. Cuba's a pain in the butt right now. I will tell you, the Biden administration is trying to deport Cubans coming over. Why? Because they know socialism doesn't work, and when they get the chance to vote, they're not going to be voting for Democrats. They vote Republican, so they don't want them coming over. And I guarantee you, if the people coming south of the border voted Republican, majority voted Republican, the Democrats would be the ones screaming to build a wall. They'd be screaming, you know. They think they're picking up voters. Uh, and that's all I'll say about that. But 14 in the House, 16 lights. But let me go back to the freeze-dried food. The idea is, if something major were to happen, I would think that the first several months after something major happens, people would be consuming all their canned goods. They would be consuming, items that they've got stored up, that they've got canned, that they've purchased, bulk items and such. They would be eating a lot of that stuff. If they still have refrigeration, depending on, like if you're some place where you've got solar, or you've got a generator is not going to last that long, because do you have enough gas? How much gas are you going to have stored? How much propane are you going to have stored? How much of that are you going to have stored? Thank you, Uncle Alan. Thank you for the topic. I appreciate it. Enjoy your dinner, sir. God bless you. Yeah, if there's no water coming from the tap, a lot of them will be gone within a couple of weeks. When they go to sleep, they just won't wake up if they're that dehydrated. Realistically speaking, you'll start having a lot of dead people. And if society has not broken down, if you still have law enforcement, if you still have the government functioning, they're going to be rounding up and disposing of bodies. That's going to be a major effort, is rounding up and disposing of bodies. Mass burials, pyres. I really see that happening. Now, people who are more rural, you'll have Christian burials. They'll go back to the way things used to be. They'll wrap the body, they'll dig a hole, they'll wrap the body, they'll bury them, and then they'll put like a wooden marker or whatever, the way things used to be. Or maybe they'll have a regular grave marker. Small towns, they still have people that do that kind of stone work. And but yeah, and the people who will be going first are the ones who have health conditions that they can't get their medication. A diabetic that can't get insulin. They can't refrigerate their insulin. The CPAPs aren't working. There's no dialysis. They'll be the ones that'll be gone in a week, the ones that can't get dialysis. And think about that. But no, you'll have a lot of people. You'll be losing a lot of people based on they don't have their medications, or their medications run out. Like right now, you have insurance. Your insurance is normally good. It'll provide a 3-month supply of your medication. So within 3 months, a lot of folks are going to run out of medication. And if it's something other that keeps them going, they're not going to last too long after that, if they can't get access to the medication. And that's something that everybody should take into consideration, is if you're, for preparedness and such. You need to have a supply. You need to have a good supply of your medication. You take blood pressure medication, you better start bulking up on that blood pressure medication. You can get a doctor to write you a script for a year, but the insurance will only cover 3 months at a time. So you'd have to come up with that out of your pocket. But I think that would be money well spent. I think that would be money well spent. Yeah. During the end of days, the scriptures talk about end of days. When all the plagues and all the horsemen are riding, 1/3 of mankind will be killed or will die. Like you have a major war. If the population's 9 billion on the planet at that time, it'd be like 3 billion people dying. 1/3 of the population. But yes, you can last several weeks without food if you had to, but you can't last very long without water. It would really throw you out in a hurry if you don't have water. And remember, you should have 8 glasses a day. So a glass is 8 ounces. That would be the equivalent of 4 half liters or 2 liters. You should be consuming to stay hydrated just a regular situation. And you could be drinking more than that if you're out working hard, sweating in the heat. You'll sweat it out. You need to have plenty of clean water. Plenty of clean water. Well, lots of emotional outbursts. Lots of episodes. You'll have women melting down. You still have women melting down. You have episodes. You'd still have that happen. You drink a gallon and a half a day. What a guy. I drink several of the bottles. I drink coffee. I drink several glasses I have several cups of coffee a day. And then I start drinking water. I start drinking lemonade, put powders in, lemonade, tea. When I get through, I'll probably have tea with my meal. Joking about gun control. The Supreme Court just put out some rulings that basically tells the administration and alcohol, tobacco, and firearms to basically where they can go and what they can do when they get there. But I've always said gun control is the ability to hit your target. You know, they have all these bad things happening in blue cities. Why these things happen in blue cities? Because try pulling that in a red city or a red controlled area. We shoot back. And chances are we're probably carrying something other bigger than what you're carrying. You know, there have been incidents in Texas. Somebody was going to go in and shoot up a church, and somebody got them. You know, somebody got them. So, number 10 cans. going going back and talking about things that, to me, number 10 cans, my number one is milk. Whether you're talking regular milk or you're talking chocolate milk, milk's my number one. My go-to is milk. That would be my main. If I'm just buying number 10, if I'm just buying number 10 cans, and I'm limited in what I can buy, I'm buying milk. That would, if I'm buying, you get a 1 month supply for $20. You can get a 2 month supply of the ready. You can get a 2 month supply for like $30. Like the Agassiz Farms versus the Ready Essentials. I like the Ready Essentials. It's $30. It's more expensive, but it's got more, and you can get a 2 month supply, 1 cup a day for one person. So in other words, one can would last 4 people 2 weeks. So you're looking at 2 weeks worth of milk, 1 cup a day. And so milk is important to me. Milk, the chocolate milk. Also, I've got several of the Orange Delights, the number 10 cans of Orange Delight. It's a beverage, orange flavored. It's not soda, but it's like a beverage. It's like an orange flavored beverage, orange drink. I've got several cans of that. And lemonade, I've got a lot of lemonade, freeze-dried lemonade. Tea, I've got tea. So beverages are very important. I can scrounge food. Beverages are very important with water. And being able to, and having a 12-volt refrigerator freezer. Well, I get the dual zones, but I don't really use the freezer part. I basically just use it as a fridge. I try to keep the stuff like 38 degrees or so, really cold. And just being able to have the civilization of being, because like you say, you don't have air conditioning, but to be able to pull out a cold bottle of water and mix it with some beverage powder and have your milk or your chocolate milk or your orange drink or your tea or your lemonade, and it being cold, or grape, the flavors, and it being cold on a hot day, or being able to make coffee and having a hot coffee or a hot tea. That's civil. You're still civilization, and you can very easily have a for not too much money, you can have a solar power set up with solar panels and a power station or 12-volt lithium batteries, where you can run, and I'd have 2 or 3. It'd be nice to have 3 of them. The refrigerators, those little 12-volt refrigerators, be nice to have 3 of them. And I'd only use one at a time, and if one breaks down, the compressor goes out on it, then I'd use the next one if I didn't have a way to repair it. Did you come in, Holly Ivans? Hello, Holly Ivans. Yeah, the Japanese and the Germans they were really SOBs in World War II. the Nazis, they were really cruel SOBs. The Japanese, they were cruel SOBs. What they did, you know, the Chinese hate them. Well, they've been warring for centuries. But I tell you what, they went into the Japanese went into China and they did some horrible stuff. They really. That's one of the reasons why now that the Japanese are converting, they're basically building aircraft carriers now. The Chinese are the Chinese are having accidents in their pants over that. They really are. Yeah. Well, thank you for stopping by, Holly, if you're leaving. Take care, Holly. Thanks for stopping by. So, 10 in the house, 17 likes. If you haven't left a like, please leave a like to support the channel. It would be greatly appreciated. One of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to put dollar values to these preps, to these items. And what you get for them. I'm going to put some dollar values to stuff, and that way you can see what your options are. And I know everybody's got to be on a budget. I mean, I'm on a budget. I probably spend more than a lot of people, but I do budget it, and I do spend it like along. And yeah. So milk or beverages like milk, and my number 2 is powdered eggs. But now, mind you, you get Ready Wise powdered eggs. You get a number 10 can of Ready Wise powdered eggs. That's the equivalent of 70 eggs. But you're going to pay about $70 for that number 10 can that will produce 70 eggs for you. So you're actually looking at $1 an egg. They were talking about, well, you know, eggs are going to get to the point where they're $1 an egg. You know, you buy a dozen eggs, and a dozen eggs cost you several dollars now. I can remember back before all this crap started happening, you go buy a dozen eggs for like 40 cents, 45 cents for a dozen eggs. They're like a nickel a piece or less. Used to go over to Aldi's. I'd go buy eggs, lots of eggs. We got chickens now, but I mean, you know, chicken feed's expensive. But we would have eggs. I used to do a lot of cook breakfast and save a lot of money by making my own tacos and such. Potatoes, I enjoyed it. Cutting up the potatoes and bacon. And I used to like to use a lot of turkey bacon. I'd buy turkey bacon. So I'd make myself an egg, potato, and bacon taco. Good stuff. Sometimes I do sausage, but mainly. So powdered eggs would be my number 2. If I was what I'd be spending money on for number 10 cans, would be powdered eggs. Would be another one, because you can do a lot with eggs. Cheese powder would probably be a third, to be able to mix up and make cheese. And you got to be able to refrigerate it once you get the stuff mixed up. Butter powder is another one, being able to make butter. To me, peanut butter powder is also important. But you know, I have a number of cans of peanut butter, last for years. So before I got to the powdered stuff, I would basically be using the stuff whatever I have canned, like peanut butter and jelly and such. I'd be using up all that before I start mixing up the freeze-dried stuff. Oats. I got lots of oatmeal. I've got boxes of oats, but then I've also got the pails. You get a 10-pound pail of oats for about $35. So yeah, Uncle Al talks about vegetables, and they're important. But shit, we got so many canned vegetables. We buy cases. I buy the stuff by the case over at Sam's. I got stuff I've stored for years, cases of it. I haven't even opened the cases. Um, Thank you, Julianne West. I will try to come by and visit you. God bless. Appreciate you. Yeah, rice and beans. I got lots of rice and beans stored up. You get a 5-gallon bucket, food grade bucket. You get some 5-gallon Mylar bags, oxygen absorbers, moisture absorbers, food grade lid. I put about 25 pounds. Like I buy a 50-pound bag of rice or a 50-pound bag of beans. I'd have 2 buckets for it. I'd put about 25 pounds in a bucket, get it all fixed up. Then I use a Sharpie and I put the date on it, what's in it and what the date is. And I keep it inside climate controlled, where it's in the 70s. That's the thing. You don't want this stuff, you don't want to be storing this stuff out in the heat. Nothing stores that long if you store it in the heat. You want it in a cool area. Cool, dry, dark area. Yes, sweet potatoes are good. Yeah. Oh, another thing is crackers are inexpensive. Crackers will store for about a year or so. You get a big a box. It's got 4 packs of crackers. Like, you know, um, I pay about $1.85 now for a box of crackers. I go buy several boxes at a time, so crackers will last me a little while. And I make chili, or I have a salad. I always have crackers. Crackers are very important. Devil Dog Prepper. Hello, Devil Dog. Welcome. Let me go over statistics real fast. I'm at 1,590 subscribers. What does that mean? 10 more and there'll be a subscriber giveaway. If you have not done so, you need to leave me a like and a supportive comment on each of the last 5 videos I've released. Now, we're not talking shorts, and we're not talking community wall posts, and we're not talking live streams. I appreciate those, but videos I've released. The last video I released was my goodie box for Hillbilly Josh Lofton. The one before that was a shout out that I did for him, which was about 1.5 minutes long. So I would say look at the last 5. Now, I may release another video before I get to the 1,600, but I don't think I'll release much. And my next video that I release is probably going to be a shout out video for whoever I do my next goodie box for. And then the next video I do after that will probably be a premiere, which will be the goodie box for that person. I don't think I'll get to both of those before I hit 1,600. But when I hit 1,600, I'm going to go look through the last 5 videos and start looking at names. Who all for the last 5. And if you're one of those people, your name will go into the hat. I'll do a video of how I do it. And I'll draw from the hat, and whoever's in there, whoever wins, you might have won before, you might have had a goodie box before. If you're a winner, I'll contact you. I'll say, hey, this is what I put in previously. Do you want me to make some changes to it? Because if you've got one of my previous boxes, I don't want to send you the exact same thing. Like if I sent you one of these, I don't want to send you one of these again unless you want another one of these again. And there's no, it's a good idea to have a couple of them, you know. That way you can be doing multiple, you can be doing water for your, to reconstitute, you know, you can do water to reconstitute something other while you're making water for your coffee or your tea or whatever. Um, yeah, I'm trying to get there. Now, Gina, I appreciate your sentiments, but I know your channel is like 10 times the size of mine, probably. So, and more power to you, lady. My channel just had not been growing. I was at 1,500 subscribers in January. I'm still not quite at 1,600, and it's been like 6 months. Just about. My channel just was not growing for a period of time. So, for the last cycle, I have 14.1K views. My watch time is 528 hours. My last live had 115 views. My last short, which I dropped this morning, 471 views. And then my last video, which was my giveaway to Hillbilly Josh, only 56. I do not understand that. I really do not. So, I believe in the Boy Scout motto, the Scout motto. I grew up, I was in Scouts. They're reforming, they're reconstituting themselves. They're down, they only have about 1 million members right now. Used to be over 5 million, now it's down to about 1 million. They've had a lot of issues. And they filed for bankruptcy because of lawsuits, because of, you know, adults abusing kids, which is horrible. Yeah. You know, I did one on Harbor Freight. I did a short on Harbor Freight. I went into Harbor Freight. I had to go buy something other, and I just did a scan of the solar. Short, nice little short. 16 views. 16 total views. Now, if I do food, I'm guaranteed 400 plus views. Pretty much on food. Tends to cut off before I get to 500, but I can very easily high 300s, mid 400s. I do not understand. Sherry Hammond, welcome, Sherry Hammond. Let me go over and look at Sherry's channel real fast. Sherry has 2 video shorts. I'm going to share her out. This is Sherry Hammond's. This is Sherry Hammond's channel. So every day when I get up, I thank God for the day. I'm 62 years old. I'm getting older. I say the Lord's Prayer. I think a lot. It'd be a good idea to read a chapter of Scripture every day, and I don't always do it. I mean, being truthful. I don't read the way I used to. But yeah, I look at the analytics, and I try to keep track of how I'm doing and my averages and such. I look at those weekly summaries, the monthly summaries, and the trends on how I'm doing. Views wise, I'm doing great, I think, and I'm getting lots of likes. Not as many as I'd like, but channel growth has been very slow. Been very slow. I was growing 100. I was growing 100 a month, averaging over 100 a month for a period of close to a year, and then it just dropped off. Really dropped off. I guess I'm not doing the outreach I previously was doing. So I will be back tomorrow for a Sunday edition of Coffee Talk, 7 p.m. I appreciate you, and those of you who are in the military, thank you for your service. The responders, thank you for your service. Law enforcement, treat people the way you want to be treated. I believe in, showing my home training. My parents are passed, but I can still honor them by showing my home training. Tractor Supply is good. I've got Tractor Supply. I've got Tractor Supply, Sam's, Walmart, and Lowe's side by side. They're just about side by side. And Lowe's is like hardware and lumber and such. I'm blessed the way I'm located. I've got them all right there within a mile of me. So I'll be back tomorrow. I appreciate you guys coming in. Please come back after the video ends and leave a supportive comment. If you haven't left a like, please leave a like. It doesn't cost you anything. Always leave a like. Leave a comment. That way somebody knows who you were, that you were there. Don't just be a lurker. And everybody, please have a blessed day. I'm going to go now, and I appreciate you coming in. We'll have another Coffee Talk tomorrow. Thank you, and God bless. Bye.